Bibliophiles of the internet. Today I'm here to share a quick Friday reads. Before we get into that, full disclosure, this was not the video I originally planned for this week. This was my backup video, my break glass in case of emergency type video. So something has gone wrong, generally speaking, not personally speaking, if you're actually seeing this. Basically, I had planned to share my March wrap up today, and wrap ups, of course, are longer videos. They take a lot of time and work to prep, to film, to edit, and because I work full-time Monday through Friday, I really only have time to film sit-down videos like that on the weekends. And this last weekend, the weekend before you're seeing this, California was going to be hit by a really bad storm system, which means filming conditions would not be great, and actually filming would not be one of my main priorities at that point, to be quite honest. So on the one hand, sorry this isn't that video, but also I'm not sorry, because it's not worth it to stress out over things I can't control, and actually, I'm doing my best. All of that said, let's talk about what's on my radar for the beginning of April, for this weekend, all that good stuff. First is a book I've already started, so I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be taking it with me into the weekend, but I'll mention it just in case. That is Something Kindred by Sierra Birch. I believe this book has been released by the time you see this, but it's a new queer black Southern Gothic horror story. It's YA. It's about a girl named Jerica who's planning to spend her last summer before senior year soaking up the sun with her friends, but instead she finds herself in a small Maryland town where her estranged grandmother lives. Apparently there's a very fraught history with this grandmother. She abandoned her two children when they were still very young, one of whom is Jerica's mother, but now her grandmother is dying and Jerica's mom has brought them here so they can say goodbye and possibly make amends. So things are awkward and uncomfortable, but Jerica also meets a really cute girl in town, so maybe it's not a total wash, but she also realizes that the town has secrets of its own, and the more you try to leave, the stronger the town's hold becomes. I know this is horror and it has those supernatural elements as well, but something about the synopsis kind of reminds me of We Deserve Monuments by Jas Hammonds, which has a similar sort of premise about a young queer black girl returning to her parents' hometown, reconnecting with an estranged grandparent at the end of their life, and also uncovering family secrets. So I really enjoyed that book, and I hope that this story has something at least similar. This has been very high on my release radar. It was pitched as having elements of magical realism and being a Southern Gothic, as well as a queer YA horror story, which obviously caught my attention. Fierce Reads also very kindly sent me this finished copy ahead of time as part of a book tour, so that's also part of why I've been making my way through this. Secondly, surprising no one, I have another library book checked out, and I might have another hold coming through fairly soon actually, but let's not talk about that. The hold I'm currently working my way through is Womb City by Tlotlo Tmase. This is like a mixture of Afrofuturism, sci-fi, horror, and dystopia. It's set in a future version of Botswana, which is where the author is also from. The main character is Nella, who seems to have everything in life: wealth, fame, a steady marriage, a child on the way, but her body is actually controlled by her husband through a microchip. After a drug-fueled night, Nella is somehow involved in a hit-and-run incident, and to try and avoid a sentencing that would most likely not be in her favor, Nella and her side piece end up finishing off the victim and burying the body. But her victim's vengeful ghost ends up trying to exact a bloody revenge against everyone in Nella's life, and she'll have to unravel this society's horrendous secrets and become a monster herself if she hopes to slake this ghost's appetite for violence. It sounds so wild, so violent, so gruesome, but I cannot wait to get even further into this. It sounds like the story is really confronting a lot about body autonomy, systemic misogyny, society's impossible expectations of women, so on and so forth. It's intense, yes, but this is exactly the kind of sci-fi that gets me really excited for the future of the genre. Lastly, I will at least give an honorable mention to Otherworldly by F.T. Lukens. I had wanted to read it in March, but I had to put it off for far longer than I actually wanted to, but I love F.T. Lukens. I'm so excited to see their take on a queer paranormal romance with an eternal winter and crossroad demons. Even if I don't end up reading this in like the first week or so of April, I'm just manifesting that I would really like to read it soon. So that's everything I'm currently working on or that I have planned for the beginning of April. Of course, I'd love to hear from you and hear about what you think of any of these books, what you've got going on for yourself, reading or otherwise. is, so definitely head down below so we can chat in the comments. Thank you for your patience. The wrap-up will be coming soon, I promise. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this short and sweet weekend update, and until next time, educate yourself, be kind to yourself, take care of yourself and others, and I will catch you on the flip side of the page.